So, hello, active traders, and welcome to our Trading Week Ahead broadcast. I'm Ken Calhoun, your host, president of the original Day Trading University and Trade Mastery, coming at you live here on July 22nd, 2023. Well, our market's certainly been roaring up for months now. Really good breakout continuation pattern. Not much to say about it. We've got 4,600, maybe major resistance one, and I'd use 4520 as S1. So I'd use 4520 as support one, and I'd use the round number 4600 as resistance. I'm not going to scale in or start going into more positions until we're over that level. And a key support level here, if we do have a breakdown under here, the 4440, that's going to be a reversal of trend. So keep an eye on that. And this would be a good time, by the way, to take profit. That's one thing. I have so many new members in the live room. You guys have been wonderful. I really appreciate all of you for joining. I'm cautioning people to start trailing stops and take profit up here before the market decides to take it back, right? Another thing I want to keep a careful eye on is our SIBO VIX, of course, and you can see a VIX way down at 1314. We don't have a VIX reversal until where? At what price? Get everybody thinking here on a Saturday. At what level do you think the VIX will start to show some sign of life, or what would be a key resistance area initially on the VIX? Anyone? We got 16, 17, 18, 16, 21, 15. Thanks, Dennis, Herman, Heidi, Neil, TJ, hey, Damon, Jax, 15. Yeah, I would use the 16, and the reason is because of back here, right? So that yields A16 for us. All right, so one thing I want to do too is clear that up. Anyway, does that make sense as 2 data points back there? That's what professional traders are going to look at. Remember, I use a 90-day rolling window or 90-day rolling, most recent 90 days in your charts to give you key support resistance levels that institutional traders are using, because that's what we use is support became resistance there. That's a term that my brilliant colleague Steve Nissen would call a change of polarity, where previous support is now current resistance, right? So that's a change of polarity. And for more from Steve, be sure to visit candlecharts.com. He's brilliant. His stuff really works, and it helps a lot. So learn from Steve. Anyway, that's a key resistance area right here, is that 16 level. What we're going to do now is just flip through some charts and see what we have to make of them and which ones are better than others. Which are the best charts out there in all the land, and some observations to go along with it. A bunch of you have given me charts already this morning. Thank you very much for that. We will add more later this morning as time permits. Our Bitcoin plays like Marathon and Coinbase and Riot and others like of its ilk are running into significant resistance up here, significant resistance. So I would not be long up here. In fact, I told my traders to sell the Bitcoin plays, I think it was back on Thursday, because of this recent pattern. Now, for those who know my professional trade approach, what's this pattern tell us? What's the pattern that this tells? This is a ratio of green to red candles pattern, okay? And the ratio of the most recent 5 candles is a lot more red than green. So that means you should not be holding something. If there's more red in it than green, that means sellers are in charge, as evidenced by price testing support here. So this is a good one to sell here on any weakness or short. Again, these are not trade recommendations or any such thing. It's just educational, use only published chart patterns. Anyway, INQ, that one also has a start a reversal. I still like it though. It still looks good on the strength. So if it gets over 16, maybe 1630 or so, maybe worth a shot. Now on the reversal side, and I like this one, SQs. If the market does sell down, we're going to go long on what? Our SQs and our SOXS and our other inverses. So SQs is a good example of one that has ratio of green to red candles. We have 3 green candles in an uptrend. That's really good on a reversal. Nowhere back here, well, actually right here, we have three green candles. I never did get above that. If we have 3 green candles and we do get above it right here, say 1850 or so, that'd be a good place for long. Remember I said that. And on its flip side, The bullish version of the leverage Qs, you can see TQs is pulling back severely off its previous high here. So that's likely a sell or stay clear. Okay, let's blaze through these charts and see what they tell us. RIVN, is it worth trading or not? Well, the answer, first of all, starts in the range. The range on the right side, you can see, is 14 up to 27. So it's a spectacular range. So of course it's worth trading. The 2-to-1 ratio is wonderful. It's slowed down here a bit, so we don't want to go long until it breaks 27. But Ribbon looks good. Next up, Tesla. It's electrifying, but it looks like it's going to go down. So I ain't going to buy it. Again, not a trade recommendation. I'd fade the 250. I'd go short under 250. Say 249 would be a short on this. Your next up chart, MOD. Great chart, looks good. Went from 20 to 38, almost a doubler. And despite the most recent 3 little red candles up there, it's still a pretty strong uptrend. So unless we get under 36, I'd be looking for a good breakout north of 38. Next up, Carnival Cruise Lines. All aboard. Did a nice little run there from 9 to 19, right? Carnival just doubled, in case you didn't notice it back in May, June. Carnival doubled in value. But now it's saying, wait a minute, maybe we overdid it. So we don't want to touch it in this pullback, but if it does break 20, it has to get over 20 before I'll play it. 20 is good for Carnival if it gets up there. Next up, Delta Airlines, I'm sorry. I was reading someone's comments. Yeah, no, I did not record last week's event. I did this week though. Hopefully it'll come out. Anyway, Delta ran from what, 33 to 50. So really good range on this. Now we had a bearish engulfing up here. That's a bearish engulfing chart pattern. It came down, but it started to come back to life. We don't want to go long until it breaks again 50. This also too illustrates a very valuable technique, and that is sell the freaking nines. When anything has a 9 in it, you sell. You never buy a 9 because you get, faked out like this, right? It goes up to the 9, that's where you sell. I've taught so many thousands of traders, and I'm doing my own trades. Whenever you're in the money play and it goes, let's you want to say buy over a decade value, like over 40. Like you buy 41, 42, sell 48, 49. Buy 51, 52, sell 58, 59. So you play within the decade value. So 40 to 50 is a trading range. The top end of the range, you don't want to be a buyer. That's where you're a seller up here. You're a buyer, right? As soon as it gets over the $10 increment. So another strategy. Now DraftKings has got its game on and looks like betting strong in this one as it's gone all the way from 17 to 32, almost a doubler, right? The last few months, especially the last couple of weeks. Now this is a pennant pattern, right? It's kind of like the flagpole and a pennant. Not quite a perfect pennant, but close enough. A kind of a flagpole with a pennant here, congestion zone. You can go long only if it breaks the whole number 32. Now Apple's a magnificent chart. Nobody's taken a bite out of Apple. In fact, it's fresh and tasty and has been running up for month after month within a nice tight channel. That's one of my favorite trading patterns is a tight channeling uptrend, because you can just throw darts at it and scale in. Easy, it's not rocket science, it's easy. EFA. I don't see any appealing virtue to that chart. SDPI. I was going to say that chart sucks, but I said, no, I shouldn't say that. So I'm trying to be polite. That chart didn't have any noticeable. Oops. I was just totally honest. I just say what's on my mind. SDPI, that's a rock star. That's a good chart for those of you who trade the cheapies, the penny stocks, the $1 stocks. That one's good. That one will play. It's got the one thing I like is what's the pattern that I teach that this illustrates? Who can tell me the most recent 3 green candles? What's the pattern that I teach that? Yeah, madam, do I like the annuity signal? It's got its advantages and its disadvantages compared to the classic E signal. I'm still getting used to it, so to be determined. I like some of it though. It's nice and bright and it pops, but it doesn't have the configurability as easily as the old E signal. So this is a pattern of increasing ranged candles. It's like small, medium, large, right? Or medium, venti, grande, or whatever. Small, medium, large. Whenever you see a sequence like this of increasing candle height, like this one to this one, that tells you to go long above the high of that secondary candle. And sure enough, if you did that approach, you'd be in the money. It did really good. So SDPI, that's a win. I like that chart. Again, though, it's up near the 0.9, so I'm not going to buy this, or I wouldn't buy this until it gets over 2. We don't want to buy the stale end of the run. The stale end of the run is like buying something with a 9 in it. It gets close to a multiple of 10, which is likely a good sell target for people who'd been in from much earlier. So you don't want to fight the battle and initiate a new trade near resistance where everyone else is looking to sell, because that ends badly and it probably just goes down. So if you've ever been bit by those kind of charts, make sure you know the difference. You know, the place to learn that is my live room. The one thing I'm really pleased, I'm tickled, pleased as punch. I relaunched my Day Trading University. I worked my ass off on updating the site so it looks nice and professional and all good. Anyway, the Day Trading University is back. We're back, baby, and that's where I'm putting the live room site. So we've got that, and I'm making it really simple and easy to understand, not too convoluted, very step-by-step. Proof I really trade, which I think is important. How many people that run chat rooms out there that you've seen post P&L proof of they really traded, of tax return 1099s like I do? That would be nobody. So only learn from people who prove they're real traders, not just bullshitters who do sim trades and act like they're trading, which a lot of these guys, especially got to watch out for people who use overseas brokers. They're notorious for having sim paper trading accounts, but they don't let other people know that. So that's BS. Make sure you see tax return 1099 proof before you trust anyone. And thanks to all of you who voted me for the Reader's Choice Awards. I appreciate it. The pricing's up moderately from earlier pricing. It's going to go up from here. Next price is going to be $3.97, then $4.97. Like a stock price, it's going up. My live room rates are going up substantially this year. This is just a taste, but do get on board. You do get grandfathered in. So if you get an annual, it's just $29.97. You can, I say, let it resubscribe automatically, and even though it'll likely be $49.97 or $95 this time next year, you'll still only be at that rate as long as you stay subscribed. So another benefit. So thanks. All right, next up. Let's see these charts. Disney, that's not a good chart. AMD. Wow, that's a horrible chart. We looked at Coinbase. NET, that's a terrible chart. What makes for a good chart is one like Apple. It's going up. Shopify, too much janking up and down for my taste. I'd get stopped out. That's one thing you got to do, is be brutally honest with yourself. Looking at its specific chart, ask yourself, would I likely A, have made winning trades consistently, or B, been stopped out more often than not? And when you have an uncertain chart like this, the answer is, I get stopped out, so I'm not going to trade it. I don't want to trade things I've got an advantage of that I could actually make money with. I don't like trading crap it's going to chop out and be gambling. This is a horrible chart. Microsoft, come on. That's actually okay if you're an investor, a long-term trader, because the trend is intact. So not my favorite though. LCID, that's a horrible chart. ZM. Wow, that's awful. See, if you guys aren't making money, it's because you're trading charts like these. US Steel, that's a horrible chart. Charts like that are ones that you want to make your bread and butter, right? Things that actually, what an amazing idea, things that actually go up. This is another good one, the TQs, right? Wow, it's so many people here. Let's see, a question from Trader Matt saying, why signal in addition to Fidelity's Active Trader Pro? Well, this has much more depth in terms of what you can configure. Do I have a screener opposed to looking and scrolling? Well, I do both. One thing that I look at, for example, in our live room, we're using this setup, is I have my own proprietary screener that I'm not going to reveal down here in the bottom right, but I programmed that myself using eSignal. Scott Johnson, the former product manager for eSignal, personally asked me to develop a screener for eSignal, so I did, and it's here, and it's only available to me. So you got to join my live room for access. Now, we nailed it on DWAC yesterday, right? Boom! I called along at 1720, right there, back when it was down here in this congestion zone, pre-market. I said, hey, folks, if it gets over 17.2, you might want to take a shot. It ran all the way up to 26 before fading. So pretty good run. Hey, Polly. Hey, thanks, Jack. It's a question from Ernie. The range is expanding. Does it show exhaustion? Well, yeah, it depends on how much it expands, but yeah, certainly. This is our big winner yesterday. This one, I think EVLO is another runner for us, but this is one that the one chart that we covered in depth and detail had multiple entries for our traders. And so many people were so fortunate to be in my live room yesterday because we nailed the calls on this thing just consistently, right? I don't think we had any stops. My calls were bulletproof. But to be honest, it was kind of easy because this thing just kept going up. But the point is, my calls were good. Entries, exits, re-entries, and the rest of it. So that's something you might want to try at my live room at daytradinguniversity.com. Anyway, so if you want to be smart, learn how to trade the right way. Let's see, any other charts? What do we have? XP. Yeah, it's a brilliant chart. That gets my vote for the best chart of the morning. You know, I didn't skip it. It was right there. See, I had it a second ago. Anyway, yeah, XP, that was a great chart from Polly. Yeah, that's the best chart out there, 11 to 27. It almost went two and a half times up, and it broke resistance up once it hit that 25 on Thursday. So that's a brilliant chart. Yeah. Hey, John. Fez, and let's see. If you guys have any last minute tickers to pull up, now's the time. Fez, oh, that's horrible. Why would I trade that? I mean, how would you possibly make money with that? I mean, tell me, seriously. I mean, you could buy off the candle supports near 44, 44 and a half, but the gaps are so unpredictable. I don't like the lack of liquidity. I like charts that I can actually make sense of. That one's actually not too bad. The only problem is, how to say, despite the recent pullback, the trend is fine, right? It's a great trend. The problem is leverage is no good because the range is no good. It's only 96 to 120. So that's not enough point range, not enough bang for your buck, right? We want charts that, you get multi-point range like this chart, and it went from 5 to 16. So this has more leverage at a tenth of the price, right? Went 5 to 16. So that's what I'm talking about. Those are kind of charts that really have a lot of good runs. Yeah, good point. Trader Matt saying orderly charts are fiscal friends. I like it. It's a question from John. How much of my opinion is based solely on the long side? Yeah, virtually none. I spent a lot of time on the inverses, as those of you who've traded with me for years know. We also do the directional longs like the TQs. The clever, if you want to be clever and smart and intelligent, you want to trade one against the other, what I call arbitrage plays or hedge plays. And that's where you've got two charts that trade, they're guaranteed to trade exactly opposite. This is the bullish version of the leverage Qs, TQs. Look at that, and then look at like a Rorschach test. If you were to flip this down, it would look like this. Right? And so when one goes up, the other goes down. The way you do it, the way you trade this correctly is to put on buy stop orders to buy these things if they get over a certain level. So like I'll buy this over 20. I'm not going to buy it down here, but if it reverses and gets over 20, I'll hit the SQs. And if it keeps going down, say it gets under 16, then I'll instead buy this one on strength, say up over the 48. So really what you're going to do is, and again, you may have seen my article in Stocks and Commodities magazine called ETF Arbitrage Plays, and that's what this simply is. You're playing a pair of instruments, each of which is identical except the direction. So it's like going long and short, but of course you scale into the one that's working out and makes money, and you scale out of the one that's not. And that's how you leverage ETFs the right way. So good stuff. All right, folks, I think it's about time to wrap for now. I wanted to thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. I like to do these hit and run sessions. You guys like that these are kind of like short and sweet and to the point, no big pitch fest? Speaking of which, if you want to join my live room, it's at Day Trading University. I'm really thrilled about it. We got so many new features. One thing that I'm adding too is what I call crusher alerts, and I'll go over those in the upcoming weeks ahead. But we have second chance re-entries, step-by-step walkthroughs, entries, exits, stops, and targets, and what I call Wall Street crush alerts. So I like that, and I really trade. So anyway, you guys take care and do trade smart. Okay, yeah, the Medea air conditioner was great, except I got Central instead. So I gave away the Medeas to Handyman, and he was happy to get them. All right, you guys take care. Yeah, you too. Stay cool, man. You folks are cool for being here, so I do appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. Trade smart, be safe out there, and make lots of money. You owe it to yourself and your loved ones. So let's do it together. Join my live room at www.daytradinguniversity.com, and I will see you there. Take care. Bye for now. Oh yeah, the live room link. It's thanks, Sean. It's www.daytradinguniversity.com/trading. So join today. See you in the room. Bye for now.